Good day, everyone. So, yeah, everyone. Good evening. Great. So we're gonna start shortly. We're just waiting for the live to populate a bit, and we'll get started. All right. Hi. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. So we're gonna start in a bit, as I said. So let's give the others until about 5 past. At a past paper this time, we're going to see how much we can complete in the allotted time. So, Alyssa, it depends on when we're finished, all right? Should be about an hour, hour and a quarter. Great. So you guys can use the comment section to share your views on the questions, ask any questions that you need to, but do be kind and courteous in the chat, the other persons that are joining. And yes, to ask any questions that you might need to in regards to any of the questions we're going to do today. Also, you guys can share with me any topics that give you guys trouble. So your trouble topics, you guys can share with me in the chat, okay? So we can better do the next set of lives to ensure that you understand those topics. You all can mention those trouble topics in the live in the comment section. Thank you, Malini. I will take that into consideration. Fractions volume. Okay, great. Thank you all. Make sure you all are. Okay, great. So we're giving our trouble topics in the meantime. See, again, those of you who just joined, we can put that in the chat. All right, so it's 5 past, so we're going to get started. Let me see if there are any other percentages. Okay, great. So you all can continue to put those. I will take a note of them, and the other lives to come will focus on those topics, right? But today we're going to go through different types of questions. So of course, you can look at these types of questions as well and see what might be giving you all trouble. So those trouble topics we can have a good list of them to go through in the upcoming Sundays. Yeah. So we'll be looking at a past paper, and this is SCA 2023. So 2 years ago. And you just put a A in the chat if you all are seeing and hearing me clearly. So I'd know to go ahead and get started. So A's in the chat if you all are hearing and seeing me clearly. Seeing the screen clearly as well. Let me just go back to that. Okay, great. Great. So let's get started. So, as I said, past paper from 2023. I'm just checking on the chat. Grade A's all around, so we can go ahead and get started. So the first question here is asking us to write the numeral 91,005 in words. Now, with a number like this, it's important to look at a place value table or place value chart to make sure that we're writing the correct wording for the numeral in hand. So I have my ones, my tens, my hundreds, my thousands, my tens of thousands, and we have hundreds of thousands, right? So if we start at the ones, we have 5 ones, 0 tens, 0 hundreds, 1,000s, and 9 tens of thousands. Do you all agree? So just to make sure we're writing our word name properly, we have 91,005. You all agree? We have 91,005 there for number one. A pretty simple one for most. Do you hear that answer? Great. So looking at number two, we're arranging the numbers below in descending order. Can you all put in the chat what descending means to do? What is meant by descending? What order do we have to establish if we're in descending? Right, so we're looking at the largest value and moving our way down to the smallest value. Yeah? So descending means from big to small. Some persons will say, yeah. So we're going from largest to smallest. Now these are a bit tricky because they all have the same thousands value. You all realize that? They all have the same thousands value. And some of them even have the same tens, ones, and hundred values as well. So let's write all of them down just to compare the values of each one of our places. So I've written all of the numbers here first. Yeah? The first thing we can do, since all of the thousands are the same, what value are we going to look at next? If all of the thousands are the same, what value are we going to look at next? What do we think? Hundreds values. Wonderful. Remember, we want the one that is the largest. So which one is largest here? The first, second, third, or fourth number? Okay, we have an answer in the chat. Great. So that would be the second number here. Right? So we can write that one down first. Yeah, 3612, 3,612. And if we're looking at the one second to that, that will be the hundreds value of 2. So that's 3,216. Since these two have the same hundreds value, we now look at their tens value. And we can see that the first number has it's a larger tens value than the last number, so that one is going next. 3,162 followed by 3,126. Great job, great job, people. Wonderful. So that's our answer there in descending order, which is largest to smallest. Wonderful. Number 3, we're moving on to a fraction question. So pay attention to those who are having some issues with those. We're writing the mixed number 2 and 3/8 as an improper fraction. So 2 and 3/8 as an improper fraction. For us to get to an improper fraction, thank you. So we have an answer, 19 on 8. Let's see. We have to multiply the whole number by the denominator, and we're adding the numerator. Do you all agree? And all of that is being placed on top of the denominator. So that's why 8 remains the same. So 2 by 8 is 16, plus 3 is 19. So our answer is definitely 19 on 8. Yeah. Answer is definitely 19 on 8. Great job there. Wonderful. Great. So moving along, we're dividing 628 by 12. So can you all give me those answers in the chat? 628 divided by 12. Do we prefer long or short division? You all could also let me know. So 12 goes into 62 5 times. 5 12 is 60. 2 remains and we bring down the 8. 12 goes into 28 twice. 2 12s are 24. And we minus 28 minus 24 is 4. Long division, we prefer long division. 52 and remainder 4, yes. But we're past remainder state, so we need to express the 4 either as a fraction over 12 or as a decimal. So answer is 52 and 4 over 12. However, 4 over 12 can be reduced. 4 over 12 can be reduced to 1/3. 4 goes into here 1 time and 4 goes into here 3 times. So the answer is 52 and a third. Or I saw people saying 52.333. That's correct. So 52.333 recurring. That's absolutely correct. Because what you can do at this point is place a 0 here. Once you do place the 0, you can put a dot up here. 12 into 40 is 3. 3 12s are 36. You're gonna minus 36 from 40, you're gonna get 4 again, add a 0. 12 into 40 is 3, 3 12s is 36, and that is continuously going to happen. So your answer is also 52.333. Great. Good day to those who are just joining. So, everybody good there so far? So we're moving on to number 5. Number 5 deals with square numbers. So what's 8 squared and 6 squared? We're going to have to add those values. 8 squared, 6 squared. We're going to have to add those values. Great. We can express it as both. Great. So we have 64. 8 squared is 64. 6 squared is 36. 64 plus 36 is 100. So as we have 100 or 10 squared. They're both accurate. Great. Wonderful. We went around 15,296 to the nearest 1,000. So 15,296 to the nearest 1,000. Which place do we have to look at before we can do this? We need to look at the hundreds place, correct? If the hundreds place is more than 5, what do you do? If it's more than 5, what do you do? If it's equal to or more than 5, what do you do? And so the answer is 15,000 because 2 is less than 5. And since 2 is less than 5, nothing happens to the thousands value. And yes, if it's more than or equal to 5, you add 1. Great. You add 1. Wonderful. Right, so we're getting to a very worded question. Now, with these very worded questions, we want to always make sure to underline important information. And we want to circle important values, meaning that the numbers that you have to work with. So in this question, Max ate 5 cherries, which were 1/9 of the total cherries he picked. How many cherries did Max pick? So they want to know how many cherries in total did he pick. We're working with the numbers 5 and 1/9. If 1/9 is equal to 5, then to find the total, we'll be multiplying 5 by 9. 5 nines are 45. Y'all are correct. Great. Wonderful work there. Good. So we're moving on to number 8. What is the total value of the bills and coins shown below? So they want the total value. We have 20 plus 20 is $40. 40 plus 5 plus 1, it would be $46.05. This is a 5-cent coin and not a 50-cent coin. So we have to place that 0 before the 5. So it's $46.05. Great work there. Next, we want to calculate 15% of 120. So we're doing 15 over the total percent, 100 by 120 over 1. We can get rid of these zeros. Also, to further simplify, 5 goes into here 3 times, 5 goes into here 2 times, right? We can further simplify again. 2 goes into here 1 time and 2 goes into here 6 times. So 15% of 120 is 6 by 3, which is 18. So 15% of 120 is 18. Good work there. We want to write the digits 1, 2, 3, 4 in the squares below to create the addition problem with the largest sum, which means its addition value, the value of the sum of the two numbers must be the biggest number that we can get. So we're looking at our tens value to be the bigger numbers. Do you all agree? The bigger numbers that we have are 4 and 3. Now, we can place the other two numbers in any order because you're going to add to give the same amount. So we can do 2 here and 1 here. Or you can also have 41 plus 32. That's fine as well. So we're going to get 2 and 1 is 3 and 4 and 3 is 7. So the total sum you're supposed to be getting there is 73. Either one of these combinations will be correct because we're just looking at getting 73 as our answer. Right, so we have part of a calendar here for the month of April. On what day of the week is the 2nd of April? So we'd have to continue. Now, if from April 16th, which is here, to April 22nd, which is here, that is how many days? So we can count it like that, right? So we have April, it's a Sunday. Does everybody agree? So if we continue here, this is the 26th, the 27th, the 28th, the 29th. A lot of students like to do this. So how many days does April have? April has 30 days, right? So if I continue, April has 30 days. On what day of the week is the 2nd of April? So we need to backtrack. Or we need to backtrack. So this is the 9th. This would be the 8th. This would be 7th, 6th, 5th, 4th, 3rd, 2nd. So definitely, April the 2nd is a Sunday, right? We can also do from the 10th, we're minusing a whole week, which is 7 days, plus 9, which is 8 days. So minusing that from the 10th, you'd be able to do that as well. Great. Great. So let's continue. We have a pineapple and a pawpaw on a scale in this particular question. So the total mass of a pineapple and a pawpaw is shown on the scale below. The mass of the pineapple is 2.75 kilograms. So that's important, right? What is the mass of the pawpaw in grams? Well, the first thing we'd have to do is read off total mass. And if we look at that carefully, we have the total mass being, so total mass is equal to 3.5 kilograms. So the mass of the pawpaw would be equal to the total minus the mass of the pineapple. So that's 3.5 minus 2.75 kilograms. Now they do want the answer in grams, so we can change to grams by multiplying by 1,000. We get 3,500 minus 2,750. Minusing, we are definitely going to get 750 grams. So 3,500 minus 2,750, 0 minus 0 is 0. We take from there 10 minus 5 is 5. We take from the 3, 14 minus 7 is 7, and 2 minus 2 is 0. So we definitely have 750 grams being the weight of the pawpaw. Can we work there? Wonderful. So number 13, identical cubes are packed into a box as shown below. How many cubes are in the box? Well, we look at the number of faces. We need to get the number of faces. And we also need to establish the different types of faces. Yeah? We need to establish the different types of faces. So this type of face, this rectangular face here, how many of those are there? Right? There are 1, 2, there are 4. So, and there are 10 on this. So 10 cubes on this type of face. And then we'd multiply that by the 4 that's here, right? Because there's 4 in a row. So yes, 10 by 4 is 40. So there are 40 cubes in this box. Wonderful. Great. Calculate the difference in length between the eraser and the pen. So obviously, we need to do some zooming in. The eraser is 1, 2, 3 centimeters, whereas the pen is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 centimeters. So what's the difference between the pen and the eraser? Well, the eraser we can note 3 centimeters. the pen is 11 centimeters. So the difference is equal to 11 minus 3, which is 8 centimeters. Great. People are doing so well. So we have a pyramid shown below and it has a square base. So we obviously know this as a square-based pyramid, yeah? How many edges of the pyramid have a length of 6 centimeters? So there's one here, one here, one here, and a dotted line to the back, which is this one here, is also one that has 6 centimeters. Yeah? Do we agree? Do we agree? So we can count them in that way. So there are 4 edges that have a length of 6 centimeters. There are 6 edges that have a length, I'm sorry, there are 4 edges that have a length of 6 centimeters. Note, however, that the total amount of edges in a square-based pyramid is 8. So this is the total edges in the shape, in the 3D shape here. However, only 4 of them are 6 centimeters long. Very good. Great. So number 16, the arrow below is pointing to B. The arrow moves 3/4 turns in an anti-clockwise direction. Important information. 3/4 turn in an anti-clockwise direction. Now, the clock moves this way. So that means the arrow is moving this way. Yes, the arrow is moving this way. So I'm moving 3/4 in an anti-clockwise direction. This is 1/4, this is 1/4, and this is 1/4. So we're moving all the way over here. We are now pointing C. Yeah? Yes. Thank you. Yes, everybody like and share the video so that persons can benefit from it. Thank you so much. Great. Yeah. So we're pointing at C from B. We went in an anti-clockwise direction. Yeah. So number 17, name the type of triangle. This triangle has sides measuring 3 different lengths. Thank you all. Make sure to like and share the video as well as do engage in the comment section. Y'all are doing so well so far. Great. So name the type of triangle shown below. This triangle has different lengths on each one of its sides. So yes, it's a scalene triangle. Very good. It's a scalene triangle where we have different lengths of sides. Number 18, the table below shows the shoe sizes of some students. Which shoe size represents the mode? Which shoe size represents the mode? Now we have to remember the mode is the one that occurs most frequently. So which shoe size here is occurring the most? Or we can say, what shoe size does the students have the most? 7, 9. So the shoe size would be size 7. That's absolutely correct. Shoe size 7. Moving on to number 19, we want the mean of the following numbers. So we're going to add everything and divide it by, well, there's a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers. Adding 32 plus 14 plus 24 plus 0 plus 5, all divided by 5. And this here gives me a total of 75 divided by 5, which is 15. So the mean of these numbers is 15. Good work there. Great. Great, great. Good. And lastly, to end section 1, the incomplete tally chart below shows the pets owned by students. Calculate the complete the tally chart to show the number of students who own dogs. Now, obviously here, we'd be completing to show that the number of dogs here is 12. So we will have two groups of 5 and an extra 2. So that's how we'd complete the tally chart there. Good? Wonderful. So we're moving on to section 2. Yeah? Again, a reminder to share and like the video. Also engage with us in the comment section. Great work. Wonderful. So yes, that's our goal, to get 20 out of 20 in section 1. Wonderful work. So starting off section 2, we have to write the missing digits in each box below. Great. So when minusing, that's something we need to take into consideration, right? Very important. So let's first look at the ones column. Obviously, 1 cannot minus 7, right? But what we can do is take from the 2. Yeah, it was taken from the 2. So I'm just going to do some working here, which means we have 11 minus 7 in the ones place. 11 minus 7 gives us 4. Right. Then again, 1 cannot minus 8. Right? So what minus 3 gives us 8? That would be 11. So 1 was took from here as well. And whatever remained, minus 6 gave us 5. Now 6 and 5 is 6 and 5 is 11, right? So that would mean, and remember we took 1 from here. So the number missing here is 2. And let me go over that again. So 1 obviously cannot minus 7. So we had to take from the 2. In taking from the 2, we have 11 minus 7, which is 4. Great. So 1 had remained here. 1 cannot minus 3. So that means we have taken 1 from here to get 11. 11 minus 3 is 8. Great. So whatever we took from here, whatever we took from here left us with a certain number that either we took from the 9 to minus 6 to get 5. Now 6 plus 5 is 11, which means before the number was taken by the over in the tens place to minus the 3, it was a 2, because we have to add back the 1 here. Yeah? So the first one is 4, yes, and the other missing number is 2. So those are missing values there. In number 22, we have a whole number that needs to minus. We're minusing from that, a mixed number. Well, we can express a whole number as a fraction by placing it over 1. And we can change this mixed number to an improper fraction. We just did that in section 1. 14 by 2 is 28. 28 plus 5 over 14. 28 and 5 is 33 over 14. So 6 over 1 minus 33 over 14. Right. Good. Now, this is a little bit difficult because you're going to end up with a very big number. Though you're not going to get the wrong answer, you're going to end up with a very big number. So this is one option of doing it. Or 6 could be represented as 5 with a fraction. Since we're working with a denominator of 14, it might be well to represent the one more, because this is 5 plus 1 gives us 6. 5 plus 14 on 14. Any number over itself is 1. We have 5 and 14 over 14 minus 2 and 5 over 14. So we take the whole numbers. 5 minus 2 is 3. 14 over 14 minus 5 on 14 is equal to 9 on 14. So our final answer there is 3 and 9 on 14. Yeah? 3 and 9 on 14. So not 6, but 3. Remember, we're minusing, yeah? We're not adding or anything like that. So 3 and 9 on 14. Good. Good job there, Jeremiah. Wonderful. Good. So moving on to number 23. Karen uses 0.65 meters of cloth to make one skirt. How many meters of cloth would she need to make 12 similar skirts? Well, if one skirt uses 0.65 meters, then obviously we can assume here that 12 skirts uses 12 skirts will use 12 by 0.65 meters, and we multiply there. So 0.65 by 12. We can obviously remove the decimal, multiply, and place back the point. And yes, we will get 7.8 meters. Yeah, 7.8 meters. Are we getting that? Yes, 7.80 works as well. Great, 7.8 meters. So we're looking at number 24. Kim and Ben estimated the solution to the following problem: 60 by 18. We have Kim's estimate, which is 600, and Ben's estimate, which is 1200. Explain what the better estimate and how it was calculated. Great. So, in order for us to assume who has the, or to determine who has the better estimate, we need to know the value of 60 by 18, right? So, 0 by 1 is 0, 6 by 1 is 6, 0 by 8 is 0, and 6 8s are 48, right? 0 plus 0 is 0, 0 plus 8 is 8, 6 and 4 is 10. Yeah? So this is the actual value of 60 by 8, 60 by 18. So that will take some estimate out of the question, right? Because Ben has the better estimate. What do you all think? Yeah. So Ben had the better estimate. But how did Ben estimate this? Well, what Ben would have done to make things easier is he would have rounded 18 to the nearest 10. 18 to the nearest 10 is 20. 20 by 60, well, 6 twos are 12 and add 2 zeros. Yeah? That is probably how Ben would have estimated. So he went to the nearest 10 for 18, but what Kim would have done is she did not do the correct thing. She probably said 18 to the nearest 10 is 10. 10 by 60 is 600. So how it was calculated was by estimating 18 or getting 18 to the nearest 10. Kim, on the other hand, would have estimated wrong in that case. Good. So we would have explained there how Ben would have done his calculation. Great work. Number 25. Good. Number 25. Shop A and Shop B sell the same packet of milk. Shop A sells 4 packets of milk for $26, and Shop B sells 3 packets of milk and a container for $26. So it's represented here in the boxes. The price of the container is $3.20. What is the difference in the price of packets of milk at shop A and shop B? Well, to get the price of milk at shop A, price of milk at shop A, we would divide the total, which is $26 by 4. 26 divided by 4 gives me $6. Who remains? $6.50. However, if we compare that to the price of the milk at B, what we'd have to do to find the price of milk at shop B, we would have to take the $26 minus $3.20 to the container, which is $22.80. Great. And then we would divide this by how much? Shop B? Let's see. Now there's only 3 packets of milk in shop B. So we'll be dividing this by 3. 3 into here is 7. One remains $7.60. So you can obviously see that shop B sells milk at uh, at a higher cost. So the difference is $7.60 minus $6.50, which is definitely $1.10. Wonderful work there. So number 26. A wonderful unequal sharing question. Andy, Tom, and Brad shared $85 among themselves. Andy shared $10 more than Tom, while Brad received $20 more than Andy. How much money did each boy receive? Well, we have Andy, we have Tom, and we have Brad. So, important persons, and these are important amounts. So, our total is $85. And we're sharing among Andy, Tom, and Brad. So, Andy received $10 more than Tom. I'm going to just use T to represent Tom, while Brad received $20 more than Andy. Brad received $20 more than Andy. And while Tom would have just received what Tom has, we represent that as T. Great. Now, in order to solve this question, we need our unknowns, which is these, to be the same. Now, we can note here that Andy, which is A, I use A to represent Andy, is 10 plus T. So I could replace this 20 plus A with 10 plus T, because that's how much Andy would have received. So in total, Brad actually received 20 plus 10 is 30 plus what Tom had. So now we have all of them being the same. So we have T, T, and T. So that would mean Andy's amount plus Tom's amount plus Brad's amount is equal to 85. So that would mean 10 plus T for Tom and 30 plus T for Brad is equal to 85. Now, obviously, we can't add the T's, we can add 10 and 30. 10 and 30 is 40 plus 3 T's is equal to 85. So, to find 3 T's, we will subtract 40 from 85. So, T plus T plus T is equal to 85 minus 40. 85 minus 45. And since there are 3 T's to find for one of them, we will divide 45 by 3. 45 divided by 3 is 15. So if I come back up here, T is equal to 15. Andy received 10 plus 15. Tom received 15. And Brad received 30 plus 15. Great. So Tom received 15. Andy received 25. And Brad received 45. Great. Wonderful work there, everyone. So that takes us to the end of number 26. Number 27. The cost of a bag is 3 times the cost of a cap. So the cost of a bag is 3 times the cost of a cap. The total cost of 2 bags and 3 caps is $180. Excuse me. What is the cost of 1 cap? So, excuse me there. So, the cost of 2 bags and 3 caps is equal to $180. However, the cost of a bag is equal to 3 times the cost of a cap, right? So, if we have 2 bags and 3 caps is equal to is equal to 180, it would mean that this here, 3 caps, since the cost of a bag is 3 times the cost of a cap, 3 caps is actually equivalent to that of a bag. So essentially what we have is 3 bags being equal to $180. So 1 bag is equal to 180 divided by 3. 180 divided by 3 is $60. So $60 is the cost of a bag. So since a bag is 3 times the cost of a cap is equal to 60 divided by 3, which is 20. Great. So the cost of a cap is $20. Wonderful work there. The cost of a cap is $20. Simple work? Yes. So the first 4 elements of the pattern below are shown. How many squares will form the 11th element? What are we going to do there? How many squares will form the 11th element? So if we look at the first element, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If we look at the second, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. If we look at the third, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And if we look at the fourth, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So you're obviously seeing an increase by 3. Yeah? There's an increase by 3. Now, from 4 to 11, how many elements are there going to be? From 4 to 11, how many elements are there going to be? 11, 11 minus 4 is 7. So there are 7 elements in between there. If there's an increase by 3 in every case, we can multiply 7 by 3. 7 threes are 21, right? And we have to add it to the 15 because we started at 4, right? So 21 plus 15 is 5 and 1 is 6, 2 and 1 is 3. So there will be 36 squares in that element. In order for us to say the pattern rule, there is a constant, there would be this number of squares in each element is increasing by, yeah, there's an increase by 3. So the answer is 36 and not 33, yeah? So just be mindful of that. In the 11th element, there will be 36 squares. In the 10th element, there will be 30. Great. So moving along, number 29. Draw a rectangle with the area of 18 centimeters squared on the grid below. Now, this is area, which means there's a length by a width that will give us 18. So we need to think of 2 numbers or 2 factors of 18. So 2 factors of 18 there, that would work, would probably be 6 and 3 or 9 and 2. Yeah, so you all can do any. So let's say we're using 6 and 3. So we do 3 down, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 across, 3 down, 6 across. So that is one of the rectangles we can have. We can also have 2. Let me see if there is 9 here. 3 and 3 is 6 and 3 is 9. We can also have something looking like this. Either one of those options will be absolutely correct. So this is a first option. This is a second option. Because either of those factors will give me 18. Do remember to look at your scaling. So it's a 1 by 1 centimeter scaling for each of these squares on the grid. So we're 3/4 of the way through. Number 30. Our clock shows that the time in Trinidad is 6 a.m. The clock is 15 minutes slow. The time in Trinidad is 2 hours ahead of the time in Canada. What is the correct time in Canada? So if a clock in Trinidad is saying that it's 6 a.m., but it's 15 minutes slow, we need to take 15 minutes from that. So it's actually it's 15 minutes slow. So we have to add 15 minutes to that. Apologies there. Right. So it's actually, what is the actual time in Trinidad and Tobago? It will be 6:15 a.m. And if Trinidad is 2 hours ahead of the time in Canada, we have to minus now. We're minusing 2 hours. So Canada's time is 4:15 a.m. Great. 4:15 a.m. Wonderful work there. So we have 4 identical squares, and they are placed side by side to form a triangle ABC. They want us to calculate the difference between the perimeter of one square and the perimeter of the triangle ABC. So if we're looking at one square, the perimeter of one square, if a side is equal to 12, we're looking at perimeter of one square, that's 12 by 4, which is 48. However, the perimeter of the rectangle is going to be much different. So we have two sides of the rectangles being 12, which is this side and this side. So we have 12 plus 12. So those are the widths, but we have to add the length. To find the length, we have to multiply 12 4 times, which is what we did for this square. So that's 12 plus 12 plus 48 plus 48. We're going to get a total there of 120 centimeters. Yeah, so that's the perimeter of the rectangle. So the difference in perimeter, what a lot of people tend to do is they forget this key point here. We have to find the difference. So the difference would be 120 minus 48, which is a total of 72 centimeters. 72 centimeters there. Great. Great work. Right, moving on to number 32. Keisha's luggage was over limit by 5 kilograms. When she removed her hair dryer, the shampoo, the luggage was below by 500 grams. When she put back the hair dryer, the luggage was over the limit by 2 kilograms. Excuse me. What was the mass of the hair dryer in grams? So, the mass of the hair dryer right. So Keisha's luggage was over limit by 5 kilograms. When she removed the hair dryer and the shampoo, the luggage was below the limit by 500 grams. When she put back the hair dryer, the luggage was over limit by 2 grams. So we're looking at these two numbers. So we're adding 500 grams to 2 kilograms. We know that 2 kilograms is equivalent to 2,000 grams plus 500 grams, which is 2,500 grams. Wonderful work. 2,500 grams is the mass of her hair dryer. The next question looks at 5 quadrilaterals. We have a parallelogram, a rhombus, a trapezium, a square, and a rectangle. Write the name of the quadrilateral and matches the property given. There are no lines of symmetry, one pair of parallel lines, and one angle greater than that of a right angle. So, no lines of symmetry. So we can already, a square has lines of symmetry, so does a rectangle, so does a rhombus, so does a parallelogram. The only one that does not have lines of symmetry here is the trapezium, so that already gives you your answer. But let's look at the other thing. It does have a pair of parallel lines, which are these lines here. These lines are parallel. And the angle that is greater than a right angle will be this one here. So it does check all of the boxes. Then we're looking at the shape that has two lines of symmetry, two pairs of parallel sides, and no right angles. So two lines of symmetry, two pairs of parallel sides, and no right angles. So no right angles, two lines of symmetry, and two pairs of parallel sides. What are we looking at? We're looking at the rhombus. So let me show you guys that. So yes, it has two lines of symmetry. It has parallel sides. This one, that's one pair. And this is another pair here. So it definitely has two pairs of parallel sides, and that rhombus has no right angle. A rhombus has no right angles. Wonderful work. Complete the shape below using AB as the line of symmetry. So we just need to replicate the other half of the shape on the other side. So in doing so, we will, let me use my ruler. Great. And connect back. So let me just move. Right, great. So, and of course, you can color this in if you need to, not necessary, but you can if you'd like. So that's us completing the shape on the grid using A as the line of symmetry. Remember that your shape on the other side has to be equivalent to that in terms of the number of squares used to the part that was given. Great. Number 35, the incomplete graph below shows the runs scored by a cricket team in 3 matches. So we have match 1, match 2, and match 3. They want us to find, they said the total runs scored in match 1 and match 2 was 100. So how many runs were scored in match 3? So if match 1 and match 2 is equal to 100, right? Let me just take that off. Right. So match 1 and match 2 is equal to 100. Match 1 is 3 blocks. And match 2 is 2 blocks. Yeah. So we have a total of 5 blocks being equal to 100. That means 1 block is equal to 100 divided by 5, which is equal to 20. Yeah. So one of the blocks are 20, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks here. 20 by 4 is 80. So match 3, there was a total of 80 runs scored for match 3. Great. Right. Good. So we found for the number of runs for one block, and we multiplied it by the number of blocks. All right, number 36. The incomplete table below shows Paul's mark in 5 subjects. Paul's mean mark was 68. His mean mark was 68. That would mean that all of the marks for science, which is 80, plus math, which is some value, I am using M, plus 55, plus 47, plus 73, all divided by the total that Paul, the total number of subjects that Paul did, which was 5, is equal to 68, right? Now, what we need to do is find them. So the first thing we're going to do is find his total scores. So the total sum of all of his marks. So in finding the sum of all marks, we would have to multiply 68 by 5. 68 multiplied by 5 is 340, right? 68 multiplied by 5 is 340. And we can find the sum of the known marks. Which is equal to 80 plus 55 plus 47 plus 73, which should give us a total of 255, right? A total of 255. So to find the math mark, we find the difference between 340 and 255, and that should give us 85. So he scored 85. Yes, Paul scored 85 marks in mathematics. Very good. He scored 85 marks in mathematics. Wonderful. Looking at number 37, Tara bought an equal number of pies and donuts, and she spent $70. How many pies did Tara buy, given what's going on in the box here? So there are 2 pies for $5 and 3 donuts for $10. She bought an equal number, right? She bought an equal number of pies and an equal number of donuts. So the first thing we can do is find the price for 1 pie and find the price for 1 donut, because she bought equal numbers. So if the cost for 2 pies is $5, then the cost of 1 pie is 5 divided by 2. And if the cost for 3 donuts is $10, then the cost for 1 donut is 10 divided by 3. What we want to find out is the cost. So we want the cost of 1 pie plus 1 donut, which is 5 on 2 plus 10 on 3. Obviously, this is represented in dollars. So we find out LCM, which is 6. 5 3s are 15. 10 by 2 is 20, right? So 15 plus 20 is 35 on 6. So the cost of 1 pie and 1 donut is 35 on 6. So to find the number of each that she bought, what we would do is we'll take the total amount that she spent, which is $70, and divide it by the cost of 1 pie and 1 donut, because she bought an equal amount. So we can do this. And we do 70 over 1 multiplied by 6 over 35. Note here that 35 is half of 70. 35 is half of 70. So 6 2s are 12. She bought 12 pies. And also, if the question would have asked, she bought 12 donuts as well. Looking at number 38. Dave made a decoration by sticking rectangular strips of Bristol board together. When 2 strips were stuck together, there was an overlap, as we can see here, of a length of 4 centimeters from each strip. Dave stuck 13 strips of Bristol board, each of length 15 centimeters, to make the decoration. Calculate the length of Dave's decoration. So in the length of Dave's decoration, because he stuck 13 strips together, there are 12 overlaps. 12 overlaps and 13 strips. Yeah? However, the pieces on the end will be very different from the pieces in the middle, right? So remember, the total length is 15 centimeters, the entire strip that is. So the pieces on the end pieces, if we look here, is 15 minus 4, which is 11 centimeters. However, the middle pieces, like this one here, for example, we're minusing 4 on this side and 4 on this side. So the middle pieces are 15 minus 4 minus 4, or 15 minus the sum of 4 plus 4. And 15 minus 8 is 7 centimeters. So these are the end pieces and these are the middle pieces, right? So we have the end pieces and the middle pieces. So there are 12 overlaps, as I would have mentioned. So for the 12 overlaps, we're doing 12 by 4, which is 48 centimeters. So that's the total length of the overlap. For the two pieces on the end, there are two end pieces, which is 2 by 11, which is 22 centimeters. And for the middle pieces, if we, there was a total of 13 strips, 2 of them were end pieces, so 11 middle pieces. So we're doing 11 by 7, which is 77 centimeters. So the total length will be total is equal to 48 plus 22 plus 77. And that should give us there a total of 147 centimeters. Yeah. So we looked at the number of overlaps. We calculated for that. We calculated the length of the end pieces and the length of the middle pieces, and we added them all together to get 147 centimeters. And that is the length of Dave's decoration, right? So you all can always look back at that question and make sure we understand, yeah? So that's the length of Dave's decoration there. Moving along, we are looking at Jenna drawing a 5-sided shape with one right angle. 2 sides of the shape are already drawn on the grid. So we'd want to complete the shape to look at the number of, get a right angle. So in order for us to get a right angle here, we need a pair of perpendicular lines. So we can probably come straight across here. We can probably come straight across this way and move our way down here. So that gives us a pair of parallel lines. Let me draw that a bit straighter. That gives us a pair of perpendicular lines. But remember, we need this shape to be 5-sided, and right now we only have 4 sides. So to create another side, we can join right this way. So now we have a 5-sided shape that also has a right angle. Great. And we want to describe all of the angles in the shape. So in order for us to do that, we need to give the shape some names. The angles in the shape some names. So we can call this A, B, C, D, and E. Obviously, there would be five angles if there are 5 sides. So we're looking at angle A. Angle A is more than 90 degrees, so it will be an obtuse angle. Angle B is a right angle, as we can see. Angle C is acute, less than 90. Angle D is reflex. Angle D is the largest angle in the shape. And we have angle E, which is also acute. So those are the angles in the shape there. Wonderful work there. Then we have Brandy and Clara played 3 rounds in a video game. The incomplete table below shows their scores. So we have these 2 students, Brandy and Clara. We have the points that they would have gained in round one, and we have the points that we would have gained, that Brandy would have gained in round two. Medals were given on the average score of the three rounds. We have bronze, silver, and gold. And the bronze, you would have had to get between 61 and 90, silver 91 and 120, and gold 121 to 150. Obviously, this is an average as well. So, what is the lowest score that Gandhi should have in round three to qualify for a silver medal? So, lowest score that Brandy would have obtained in round three to qualify for a silver medal. Well, we will have to look at the lowest side of the range here, which is 91, and that's the average. So we multiply by 3 for these three rounds. 9 by 1 by 3, 9 3 is 27. So she would have had to score a total of 273 points in the game. She only scored 90 plus 82. 0 and 2 is 2, 9 and 8 is 70. She already scored 172 points. So the lowest amount of points that she could score again to get a silver medal is 273 minus 172. 3 minus 2 is 1, 7 minus 7 is 0, and 2 minus 1 is 1. So she would have to get at least, well, she would have to get 101. She would have to get 101 points in round three. They're telling us that her total score was 140. Her score in round two was her score in round two, which is here, was 3 times that of her score in round three. What was Clara's score in round two? Well, if there are 3 times, this is 3 times her score in round three, and this is round three score, then Clara's score in round three would be 140 minus 48 would be equal to her scores in round two and three, right? Her scores in round two and three, and we would get 140 minus 48 is 92. Now, there are 4 parts. There are 3 here and 1 here. We'll be dividing 92 by 4, which is 23. So she would have scored 23 in round 3. She would have scored 23 in round 3. Good work there so far. Right. And that takes us to the end of the paper. I didn't realize we were on number 40 there. So yes, that takes us to the end of the paper. So again, I did make note of the topics that are trouble topics to come. So we will be continuing with those in the next couple lives. So do join us next week Sunday at the same time to continue our work on, well, we'll start with fractions. So we'll be looking at fractions next week. So a lot of questions and a lot of reviews on fractions next week, followed by percentages someone would have requested. So I will see you guys next week. Thank you for joining on. Do be sure to like and subscribe and share the page with your friends so that they can join on next week as well. Right? Do have a good evening, everyone, and take care.